This right. Yeah.
How the video is, you can kind of see me. It's kind of pointing down as well. I'm not sure how well this is going to go. But anyways, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be assembling the Super Scooper from Palm Beach Robotics. We got Xanders going ready. We did not record that, which is the spinner. We'll get that in the video. If not right here, it will be coming up. There's videos out there on this, especially from the manufacturer, but I'm going to go ahead and do it and just kind of wing it. So hopefully it's pretty easy. I guess we're going to go by ear here, right? So first things first, what I'm going to end up doing is actually I'm going to pair my receiver differently than what was included in the kit. This wasn't really there. We kind of went and got our own radios. We got, myself and Xander got these Pocket Master radios just because they're smaller. Xander, please don't bounce around the table. They're a smaller form factor, right? So with him getting into it and being only, what are you, 9, Xander? Yeah. Be easier to hold them, and I decided to mirror it as well, which they're pretty cool. Really small. Otherwise, the radio that comes with it's pretty big, and it's a different receiver. And I think that receiver is already bound to the radio, but we're going to have to bind this anyways, or bind it. Get going here and binding it, and it'll make it a lot easier. You're going to show your radio, Xander? So here, you can come around in the video. Here's Xander's, so basically the same thing, but his is blue. I'm going to look for these little connectors. So with this kit, there's no soldering required. So if you're getting into this and you're like, hey, I don't know how to solder. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it. No soldering required. That's where we're going to go here as well. No soldering. We come with these connectors, and basically instead of soldering, we'll use these guys. However, they do take up a lot of space. So in reality, I would like it to go soldering because, we don't have much space, and these guys do take up enough space. But they'll get us by right now. So when we flip these open, they're a little tough to get open. When we did his, we were like kind of like, oh, we can't get it open, right? We didn't want to push it too hard because we thought we were going to break it. But give it a little force, and they'll come up or come open. But anyways, like I said, the receiver, we're going to get some of these parts out here real quick so everything's kind of in the box yet. It's going. So we got the ESC here, which I believe is what's going to supply power, the power from the ESC going into the receiver. Get this going. All right. So, yellow wire, channel 1. For my receiver, it's going to be, God, it's so small. Battery, channel 5. So I'll put this up here. I'm not sure how well you guys are going to see that, but channel 1 will be up towards the top here. Not sure how well that's going to be. But I believe that's going to be the inside for the yellow. I should double check this to make sure. And I think, let me look at instructions here real quick. Come with paper instructions as well. Right, so yellow is inside, then white's always inside for your signal. So yeah, the signal is there as well. So we're going to take this other wire, put it to the inside. This will be channel 2, which will be from your ESC, which is going to be your motors and everything. We're going to put that in just to mirror it like that. And we're going to use this to get the battery. Actually, give me a second. We'll get this guy in here. I'm going to use the switch instead of using the battery to... Well, you can't use the battery to this. You got to use the switch. And I'll show you here in a second. So, I don't know if you want to call this the kill switch, dead switch, or whatever, but basically, this guy in will kill the robot. There'll be no power. There's basically a little spring inside here. I'm not sure if you can see it very well. But as soon as you release it, contact's made, power goes through. And this is how we're going to actually use the battery to power too from that little pigtail. But we're going to go back to those jumpers again, right? These little dudes. So we're simply going to put a wire in and close it. Just make sure it grabbed, which it did. Also, don't put ground and positive together. Positives are red, ground is black. Make sure you guys are keeping those separate. So we'll do this. So what we're doing right now, right here, is we're adding the positive. So we can power it on to the lead with the battery going in there, but it's also going to the ESC, which is give a signal to the receiver. I'm gonna make sure we're not going to be touching these as well either. Next thing you know, we'll get sparks flying. So we're gonna get the ground set up here real quick. Kind of want to go the same. I want the small. Come on. I mean, a little trick to get them over, but not too bad. All right. So we have everything in there that we should get power to this receiver now. We'll just double check it. Put the kill switch in. We'll attach a battery. Make sure these are not touching each other because I do not want to have sparks. This should make noise here on the receiver. I'm not sure how well you guys can see it or not. Maybe here, there'll be a little red light too. And there's no red light, so there's an issue. So we're going in there. We got positive. Is it not all the way in? All right, we're back after probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes messing around. We were, I don't know, we took this robot, we unplugged stuff, plugged stuff in, it didn't work. This one did work. Plugged back in, everything worked here. What it ended up being, everyone, was the wires on here. Make sure these are separated before they shock. I don't know if they can because they have no signal. But the wires, right, going into these blocks, one of them wasn't long enough. I'm not sure which one it was. I went to my wire strippers, which the kit does not. Which the kit does not come, but at Walmart in your hardware store, you can pick these up for 10 to 15 bucks. End up using this to strip the wire back a little more to show a little more surface. And now, when you unplug this, the light comes on in the receiver. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. But we're going to bind this real quick. We're going to bind it to the Radio Master Pocket. To do so, if you guys, no one knows, is we're going to have to go to the system here. From the rear. Make sure your model selected, which I got it here in curl system. Maybe a hold down system. Actually, I'm going to go return. Okay. I'm going to click on Express LRS. I'm not going to really show this because you guys probably can't see nothing over there. And of course, it's not loaded now. But with the ELRS receivers in these Pocket Master or Radio Masters, to do this, you got to unplug it 2 times. And I believe the 3rd time, it's going to go in binding phase. I'll do that real quick. I think I like froze up on me or something here. I'm just having all sorts of issues. There it came. Let's see if it comes now. Oh, I think I know what it is. I don't think I got the internal. Give me a second. I just created this model. Come on, baby. I know what my issue is. So basically on the Radio Master Pocket, inside my setup mode, there is internal RF, and it was set to off. So I'm going to go turn that to... Oh, that's external. I don't want external. I want internal. Go up one more. There you go. Express LRS. Okay, go there. System, Express LRS. We got all that good stuff. We're going to go to bind. I'm going to hit bind now, but I don't think it's going to happen. We got to get the receiver into binding. So we'll unhit once, plug in, unhit twice, plug in, unhit 3 times. Now it's in binding mode. You can tell that by the different color on the different color, but the different blinking pattern. And it just went solid red. So we should be good, I believe. We'll see if it says disconnect or anything here.
Telemetry lost.
There it is. Cool. So the receiver's bound. With all that issues happened earlier, or with the issues happened earlier, it is a lot later than normal. We can maybe, God, I don't know if we could try to center the servo real quick. Get all this stuff done prior to actually putting it in. It's going to be definitely helpful. Then you're not messing around with that stuff. So instead of mounting the servo in the body right away, we're going to center it. This way, you're not messing around, right? I'm not sure, like I could bump it or else I could have bumped in transit and you think it's centered, but really it's not. To do this wisely, we're going to plug this in here and I got my channels set up on, actually, before I go too far, okay, good. I got my channels, I believe, set up correctly on my radio. We'll find out here in a second. What I want to do is I need to depin it. So with the ESC, we're powering the receiver already. This one's going to have power as well. We're not going to power it with there. We're going to get power from this through the block. So I'm going to need a depin this little dude here, the positive. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, usually I have Zaner help me with this stuff, but I'll see if I can grab it here. Come on, baby. It's not coming. Zaner, you want to come over here, please, dude?
Yep.
With his help, it makes it so much easier.
Sorry, Dad.
Red one?
So try and pull it out.
Not the black, the red, please.
Trying to get through it.
Hold on.
You got it.
If you can't get it, hold on, hold it on, pull. Is it coming
Do it
around?
on the
Okay,
wrong
hold on.
place.
We're just gonna cut it.
Do it on the wrong place.
That's fine. I'm just gonna cut it, dude. You want to get me a scissors real quick?
Yeah,
So just give me that blue little snippers in there.
Yep.
So since we're going to be powering it through the block, I'm gonna snip it. Doesn't matter really because there's gonna be no power coming to it anyways. Through this. Snip that guy. I'm going to loosen this up a little bit so we got extra room. We'll use this. Wire strippers, I believe it is, I'll probably go 20 gauge maybe. Which all these numbers are no, I'm going to go 18. I'm not sure if that's right or not. All these numbers are on the strippers. It probably says on the wire too. I guess I didn't look, but just kind of guessed it by looking at it. I'm going to twist the ends around so it stays kind of connected in a way. It doesn't fray out. Once again, we'll put positive, positive. Close. Good. We'll take the receiver and plug that into channel 3. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen here. Because prior to doing this, I set up the model ahead of time. So I'm kind of curious to see if this moves around, if it starts freaking out on us. Let's see what happens here.
Telemetry recovered.
That's got, I'm going to actually hit the button that I think I got it set for. Cool.
It is working.
Right? So,
Actually, it's time to see it.
so that's down. It's 100. So that's basically engaged, and unengaged. Right there is going to be center. So I'm going to hit the button. Or hit the button, but hit the kill switch. We can unplug this.
Telemetry lost.
And before we go any further with the build, you know what I forgot to do? I'm not sure if you guys seen it. I left the screw in here. I should have removed the screw ahead of time. We'll go ahead and do it right now, but I'm going to recenter that just in case if this would have messed it up. Put that screw there. So plug this back into channel 3. Make sure the wires aren't touching. These are kind of touching, so move away. Wait till it joins.
Telemetry recovered.
I got the button kind of mapped right up to here too. So that's engaged, or how do you want to say it? I believe it's going to go... Let me look here real quick. Make sure this is correct. The holes are there. It's going to go here and up, and that'll be down. Okay, perfect. So we'll disconnect that. Disconnect this.
Telemetry lost.
Now we should be able to grab the horn. And watch, I won't be able to find the horn. So, I'm going to get this thing centered again. To do that, we're going to turn the radio on. Once we get this centered, we'll put the horn on and we'll continue with this kit here. Like I said yesterday, I'll probably have a video up here. Give me a second. Yeah. But basically, yesterday we had a bunch of issues with these blocks and the wires being... The wires not being stripped enough caused us to go on a hiatus for, God, how long was it, Zane? About an hour, hour and a half?
About 55 minutes.
About an hour. So basically we went on a tangent for about an hour, and yeah, we finally got it. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to connect the battery. We're going to get the servo centered, so when we put it in the frame, we don't need to mess with it later. So to do that, we need the battery there. We got the battery here. Here's the battery. We need the radio on, which it is. I'll make sure these guys are not touching. It should be fine, but just to be safe, I guess. And we're going to pull this guy out, which is a dead switch. So by pulling this out, it's going to give power. Putting it in is disconnecting power. So basically what this does is, I'm not sure how well you guys can see it inside there, but there's a little switch. As you push it in, it basically separates the circuit. So circuit connected, you have power. Put this guy thing in, the thing I'm going to take out in a second. It separates it so the power can't go all the way through. So give me a second. We're going to actually get the receiver ready here. So why did I not hear receiver connected? But it's working. So that's at the, not the positive, but neutral state. I'm going to look for the servo horn. It should be, it was right here. Where did I put that servo horn, dude? Oh, it's right here in front of, it's right here in front of my face. Make sure those guys don't touch. Actually, I'm gonna put the kill switch in just in case these wires do touch. We should be fine since there's no power coming into the motors down here, the motor leads. But it's always nice to be safe. So I'm gonna grab this horn. This is already attached here. So I'm going to take this guy out. And there was a little screw around here. Get it here in a second. Hey, Xander, can you move that, please? All right. So this one actually came with... So this is the horn. The green is the horn, but the other piece is going to go on top of the lid, which will help it lift up. I have not put this kit together, so I guess we're kind of, not wing it, but sort of. I got the instructions right there if we need them. We need that screw that goes into the servo, which should be someplace. I swear I just put it down right over here, unless it's in the box yet. Zane, you want to do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you grab me that box over there? Actually, this might be it right here. Is this the right size? It is. I think this is it. It is. Okay, perfect. Make sure you do not put the wrong, or the incorrect, make sure you do not put the incorrect screw inside the servo, otherwise you'll mess it up. Also, since it's going to be metal on metal, I am going to put a little bit of Loctite on there. Not much. Just enough so it doesn't have any vibrations that'll knock it loose. Sandy, you want to do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
You want to grab me, shoot this way, a paper towel. this is pretty well even, and we can adjust the dead points later too, or not the dead points, but the end points on the radio. But I'm just going to touch this very little, not much at all. And actually, I'm not sure if you've seen that right there. That was too much. But the reason why I asked for the paper towel is we'll wipe some of the threads. We just need a very little on here. And I put just a little glob. That's actually, the way I see it, too much. Anytime you, especially with robotics too, with all the vibrations, everything getting hit, anytime you have metal on metal, should definitely use locked it. That got tight there, so that's kind of scaring me. I do not want to over tighten this. I swear that is a screw. Oh, that's why. It's a Phillips screw. I thought it was a hex screw. Man, you gotta use all these guys. I'm just gonna leave this out. You know something? Is this the correct screw? So there was one in here earlier. Jane, you want to give me the box down there, bud? So let's just put this in. I'm going to need a different screwdriver because this right here, this is kind of grabbing, but it's not that greatest. Or it's not the greatest. It goes in a little bit, then it stops. I do not want to strip that. So give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab another screwdriver. We're back. Got a different screwdriver set here. Hopefully this will do it right. Just want to get snug in there. Okay. Do not want to strip that out. And just to make sure this is good, we're going to turn the radio back on. Something in my throat. The radio is on, but we're going to basically connect this again.
Telemetry recovered.
All right, servo, neutral. So we're going to definitely need to adjust endpoints, I believe, there. But we'll get that mounted here and we'll see what's going on. But yeah. We got the main part there with electronics. Now I just need to put everything inside the robot. Yeah, I hear you. So to do this, we're going to disconnect the battery because we'll put this stuff to the side right now. We can probably disconnect the servo for right now. We can disconnect these guys just to get stuff out of the way. We'll go to the chassis. This guy. So the first steps we're going to do here is put these plates in where it's basically they're going to be holding the motors inside the frame or to the frame. They come with, is there 8 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 screws. They're plastite screws is what they call them. So what they're meant to be basically thread into plastic, like PLA like we're using here. So simply I'm just going to throw the screw in there, come to one hole. I'm not going to tighten it down all the way, but I am going to get it started. And then we'll get everything lined up and we'll come back to it. And you know something? I'm going to use this screwdriver just because there's a ratcheting mechanism on there. It just makes it a lot easier. Make sure this is going to... I really got something in my throat. Get the right tip for this thing. That's still, actually, we can do this. Come over here. And of course, the next one I try works out perfect. All right. So I'm going to line that back up with another hole. Put it in. And we're going to tighten this down, not all the way. Just enough. Once again, same thing. We're going to do this for the whole, or everything here on this side, get it all tightened in, and then we'll continue on to installing the motors. Actually, we'll hook up the motors to the ESC first. All right, so we got both the mounts in place now. We're good to move on. I did say we were going to put the motors in next. However, we aren't. After looking into this a little more, we need to put the servo in there. If we have the motors in there, it's going to get tight with the servo. And also we need to get the, I call it the dead switch, but basically the switch that cuts power off. So we'll get the power switch in first. We'll get the servo in next. Then we'll get the motors connected and basically go that route. So for that dead man switch thingamajigger, we're going to grab it over here. And I probably could have did this earlier, but I mean, we're all connected. I don't want to disconnect everything again, but we should be fine. If there was the servo motors in there, it'd be kind of not really hectic, but a nuisance because there's going to be too much crap in there. So I unscrewed the nut that was on here loosely. We'll be using that on the bottom. You can see the hole to the right. We're simply going, hopefully you guys can see it. I'm going to push it in there with my fingers. Hold it in. Maybe. Like that. And as I'm holding it in like that, I'm going to come to the back side and we're going to thread on this nut. And that nut's basically holding that piece to the frame. And then to get it snug, I'm going to use a needle nose pliers that did not come with the kit, so heads up. For tools you'll need, that's one of them. I don't want to over tighten this, but I want to get it snug so it doesn't fall off. That should be good. So we're good there. Next, I think we're going to do the servo. Get that in there. And then we'll do the motors. And then we'll continue on. For the servo, in the same arm, or same bag that the horn came with, the green horn that attaches to the servo, we got these metal band things we're going to use. I believe we're going to use the top three. I can measure them up to make sure. One. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use that because we go higher. I mean, it could fit. Let me look at the instructions real quick. Yeah. So it's going to be the top three. We're going to put them in, basically mounting like that. To do that, there's 8 smaller screws that the kit did come with. We can actually use this now. Yes, we can. Cool. So the 8 smaller screws. So on that bag, there was 4 larger screws, which I believe will be for the arm, and 8 smaller screws for basically mounting the brackets to this, as well as mounting it to the chassis. What I'm going to do, there's little slots on the servo as well. If you guys can kind of see it there. So we can kind of line this guy up. So it's going to be the top and bottom hole that we need to get. And instead of holding this up there, I can start threading these just a little bit. And I should be able to slide it in and then tighten it down. I mean, not much, just to get it started. And we should be able to slide this in just like that. And then I'm going to start tightening them down when I start feeling it getting tight. So I'm going to go from the top until I feel a little snug. Go to the bottom. And then I'm going to straighten it out by basically my eyesight. So come to the bottom here, kind of like, okay, I need to move this around. That's going to be in. And you can kind of see how I got it lined up there. Pretty straight from what I can see. I'm going to crank this down a little more, and it is moving around a little bit as I'm tightening this down. So I'm just going to readjust it as I can. Maybe hold my finger to prevent that. This one's actually slipping up further. But in reality, once we have it bolted to this, it ain't gonna budge because it's gonna be sandwiched in there. That should be good there. However, that might throw off the holes on the bottom when you think about that till now. So I'm not sure if you guys can see it. This top one kind of scooted over a little bit. You can kind of see it like that really well. So I want to loosen that up and get that positioned inside there better. This one kind of scooted too. So what I'm going to do here, when I'm tightening this down, I'm going to hold my fingers together like that. Kind of a little bit of pressure, and then tighten. And hopefully that's going to be good enough. It is not moving up. This not actually, I stand corrected. The bottom one moved. So I'm just going to get it snug. I think that's basically the best we can get it. But, as you can see, it's tilted inwards now. So I'm going to tilt this out just a little bit, while still holding it with my fingers. I am not going to get it really tight, just snug like I said, but just enough so it doesn't twist it like it's been doing constantly. And just go back and forth. And like I said, we should be fine once they're in the chassis. It's going to be holding it side to side, so it's not going to, you know, bracket here. There's no way it can move around inside there since it's going to be positioned. It's going to be positioned where it's pinched inside there. All right, now we're to the step of mounting the servo inside the frame. So to do that, we got those holes. I believe in the instructions it's going to be the first and third hole of these brackets. So instead of putting that in first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to come from the bottom of this first. Put one these. You can kind of see these 4 holes here. I'm going to grab one of the holes and just start putting threading this through. And then we're going to put the servo on top of it, or the brackets on top of it, and start threading that as well. And hopefully it's going to grab right away. Okay, so that did work. I had some wires in the way. I just want to see if this is going to work now in here. It's literally, we'll see if it works first, but it's like right up to the frame here. I think it's going to work. Cool. So I'm putting this together. You're going to say or see the servo is literally touching right down here. It doesn't feel, it feels like you need to go up further, but that is the first and third holes. And I guess more you go up this way too towards this finger, there's not going to be enough room for the servo to move around inside here. So let's go ahead and get this fully attached. Once I get these screws in, I'm going to go one at a time, one here, kitty corner basically, to tighten it down. It is going into metal. I should be putting Loctite, but I think we're going to be fine. But when I'm tightening the screws, I'll go like here, 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 until it's fully snug. That way it's going to pull those arms in evenly. So I'll go ahead and get that, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, servo is fully mounted inside there, and we're ready to move on. Going next, we're gonna go with the motors. I am not gonna mount the motors and then hook it up like basically Palm Beach did with their video on this. What I'm gonna be doing is I'll be doing it outside the robot just because you can get more leverage hooking these up. With this, like I said, no soldering required. There's little, I don't know if you want to say little slots coming out of the motors already. The ESC they give you with the kit comes with these guys, how do you say, ready assembled. And all we're going to do is basically slide them right on. And I'll try to get close up for that. However, rotation, or the, how do you want to say it, the orientation of this. So the motor on the left side, we're going to do that normal clockwise, basically normal sit-up ways, or whatever you want to say. But that's going to be the leads, the positive and ground, as closest to this black capacitor right here by my finger. What we're going to do is on those, on the motor, I'm not sure how well you guys can see, but there is a plus right here for positive. So simply take the red wire, which is positive. We're going to put that right over the leads. If I can get lined up. And to be honest, this is really... Okay, there it went. A little better. Okay, so it went on kind of loose, but then it snapped into place after I pushed it a little bit. So we should be good there. We're going to hit the ground right next to that. Yep. And this will be the left side of the robot. And it snaps in. So we're good there. For the other motor, same thing. But for the positive, right here, we're not going to hook up positive for the second side. Because if we do so, that motor is going to spin in the same direction, which is going to cause all sorts of issues. I think on the Witch Doctor tutorial, it goes in more depth than that. Maybe I'll have that linked if I can find it up here someplace. But for the positive side in this motor, for the right side of the bot now, we're going to go reverse. So positive, it's actually going to have negative here. Maybe. Gotta be very careful as this end just bent on me. So I'm gonna see if I can bend it back. If it doesn't work as well as I thought, I'm gonna have to solder it. But I think I was able to bend it back. Feels like it's snug on there. There it is, it snapped in. So there's a little bit of pressure, it snaps in, but just make sure when they're going in, they're not bending. So to attach the motors, we're going to be using, I believe it's the 256 button cap screws. Let me make for sure here real quick. I'm just going back to the instructions. 632s. Where is it talking about the motors? Plug the ESC, connect the motors, install. Attach the motors using the M2x4 actually.
So prior to building this kit, I took the motors out and I was messing around with 3D printing different rims for these bots, and I was actually designing rims. So I needed some motors to kind of attach the rims to see if it's going to work. You can kind of see the rim right now down by the bot right now, the one with the gray. The tire, it's a Lego tire basically around a TPU rim that I custom made in CAD. So the motors, I believe, were with the screws at one time. I think the bag I first touched right away there was the screws, but it wasn't labeled, so I wasn't sure. And eventually I think I did pick them up, and it is the screws. However, the issue is the head for the screw where you put the Allen wrench in. I was using 1.5 millimeters, basically with my little multi-tool thing there, and that didn't fit. I grabbed the Allen wrenches, I believe. I grabbed the Allen wrenches of all the came with the kit. Those didn't fit. So I ended up having to using my own M2x4 button cap screw that I had in basically my spare screw box. I'm not sure if that's in your kit as well, but if you see the same thing, like, hey, I got no Allen wrench that fits in here, please leave a comment. Maybe it was just a mistake with my kit or something.
My understanding, it's not a trick, but it's an orientation thing. With all these wires on this side, the instructions mentioned to mount this motor perpendicular, right? Up and down like this, and the other one like this. So basically there's a flat end, right? So the flat end needs to be going straight up and down on this side. But make sure when you're also mounting this, you're mounting the motor over here closest to the black capacitor, which is the correct orientation. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm just going to slide this guy in there loosely. We could probably put this out. We'll slide it in loosely first. Push it through. I'm going to grab the screw, and we're going to try to find our point here to grab onto. And it's going to be a small, I believe it's the 1.5 mil socket. Or not socket, but and did I have the 1.5? I did have the 1.5. Well, here it is. Literally put it right in front of my face. You do get tools with the kit, but with the tools I already have, it's making it a lot easier. I do have 1.5 here. Why is it smaller than that? These are dinky. And I got some more screws next to me. I might just break out because I think the heads are a little bigger. Yeah, because I'm using a, what is that? Yeah, 1.5. And that's not even fitting in the head. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab the Allen wrenches, which should be in this box still, that they gave me with the kit. So it must be like a mill or something. You know something? That's not even fitting in. Let me grab mine here. Does it say? I got the instructions here. Let's see if my heads are a little bigger on my M2x4s here. I'm using a 1.5 and it's not even fitting. Yeah, you can definitely look at it and tell they look a little bigger. Is this 1.5? That's 2.0. Where's the 1.5? Right here. Yeah. So that fits into the 1.5. So, and I remember using Xander's kit, or doing Xander's kit. We use this as well. So I'm not sure if they sent some different screws with this thing or something. I'm just going to take this out of my stock. You're going to need 4 of these. So for some reason, if your kit has the same thing, where you can't fit a 1.5 mil that they gave you inside the head, you're almost going to have to go to Menards or something. Actually, I don't think Menards even has these screws. However, I ordered this thing on Amazon. It has basically a bunch of different screws. And luckily, it has this size as well. So, let's see if you guys can see. There's holes around that black guy right here. We're grabbing one at the top here just to grab that motor. I'll show you the other one here real quick. Let me get this started. So I'm just going to screw this in. I'm not going to tighten it all the way. I'm just going to get it. Don't go down there. Kind of like before, just snug. And then we'll grab another screw and we'll tighten it down. Another fun thing is going to be all these wires and how we're going to position them. Get this guy. So we're going to get this guy in the bottom. Or actually just tighten this down. Now we're going to go to the top. Tighten that down. Then we're going to move back to the bottom. We're good. So the other side, we don't need to have it go, how do you say it? Orientate the motor like that. We can go sideways now. So the motor itself, and that's short another one, but it does have 2 holes for the mounting screws to come through. So I'm going to put those in, kind of line them up with the holes on this guy. I believe it's pretty close, but we're going to find out as we're driving the screws through. If you can't feel them grabbing, move the motor around a little bit with your fingers. And eventually you'll feel it grab. And that grabbed right away, which is pretty easy when you put them up. See if this one grabs. And I believe it is. Yep, I feel it taken. So that's snug. We'll go to this one. We'll tighten it down. And we'll go back and forth. And we'll put those screws back in a bag. Come on. Alright, perfect. So I'm going to put these guys back in a bag. I'm going to put them back in the box so we don't mix them up. But we're getting pretty close here to being done. But then, watch, we have issues. I think the next best course of action here is to find out where to position these items here. So I'm going to mess with these wires a little bit.
When mentioning messing around with these wires a little bit, I didn't mean a little bit. It did take a while. The space inside this kit is very little, and there's no reason for you guys to sit down and probably watch the next 20 minutes of me trying to figure out where I'm going to position these wires. I did hook everything up, and what I ended up doing, basically to sum it up, is the two blocks you see right there are going behind the servo, flush up against the servo. The battery, there's a little space behind that. The receiver for the radio went to the right side of the robot, and the ECU in the back. However, when positioning the lid on it, you got to be very careful too, so stuff does pinch. It looks like it's going to be fine, but then when you put the arm in for the lifter, it rubbed against some wires. So once again, I had to reorientate stuff. But eventually, I think I got it. It's going to take time. I did not zip tie nothing down yet. Biggest reason why I haven't zip tied nothing down yet to this bot is I want to run a couple matches with it, see how everything acts and how everything is positioned inside there, or how it stays. And if it's staying pretty good, then maybe I'll zip tie it down. But I got a feeling going forward here, I'll be running it a couple times and changing some stuff out. Just because the room, the room inside this robot is extremely little, and don't get frustrated. It'll get there. Just take your time and you'll find a good orientation. You'll be good to go.
This guy's going to go inside here, and it's going to cause for the lifter. So we got holes here, holes there. There are going to be these two holes. To start these off, I'm going to actually start them threading first before I go outside in. These will be the other 4 screws with that servo horn that we put to the side. So I'm just going to thread these holes real quick.
If you're like me, you're going to look at the screw and the hole in the plastic, and you're instantly going to think, wait a minute, did they give me the right screws? Or, wait a minute, did they make the hole big? I'm not sure if it's this piece of plastic. I'll maybe comment later on if it isn't, because I'm going to re-3D print it. But the hole is extremely small that I need to thread this screw through. Almost as if it's like, I don't think this right. This is right? But unfortunately, at this moment right now, we have nothing else to do, and this is the only thing to do. I could have got a different piece of, or another screw for my kit, but looking in the plate that holds this yellow plate, that's going to be loose, because the screw I got right now is, you can tell in the blue plate that we'll be attaching this guy to, it's right. But these holes in the yellow lifter are extremely small. So what I ended up doing is applied some pressure. I got it to go. However, it looked like it was going to bulge out. There was a little point on it where it almost looked like it was going to push out of the plastic, or the plastic was going to separate. So just a heads up on that. If you see the same thing or have the same issue, you should be good. Hence, I mean, that's what we did, and I ran it like 2-3 times since, and I haven't had issues. But yeah, once again, if you're receiving or seeing the same thing, please leave a comment. Otherwise, if you look like, dude, what are you talking about? Say a comment as well, because I'm really curious.
These aren't 632 screws. That's going to go in there. The servo. All right, so I was able to thread these through with a lot of pressure. This doesn't look right because it's been in the plastic here. However, I have no other screws. We got screws here, but it's not gonna, they're not going to fit. And I had another one laying around here. I don't know where. Oh, it's right there. These are the only screws I have left, and that's the only thing with the horn. So I'm not sure if that's a mistake on their part, but I mean, with that, we'll see how it goes here. I mean, what's nice about the kit is I can 3D print parts to it, so if this doesn't work, it's not like, oh crap, I'm out of a lifting arm here. We always have the option to 3D print more stuff. This is not going to be tight. It's going to be loose, so it can go up and down, but enough to hold it. Yeah, please. Put the screws in here. And these, I mean, the lid holes match up perfectly fine. So I have no idea. I'll loosen this one up just a little bit. Tighten this side down. Just kind of get it even, but I want it still... It can move freely, which it is right now. So that's good. So next thing we're going to do is mount the bar for this guy to attach to. And the bar is not in front of my face. Xander, can you look for a little middle bar? Yep, perfect. Xander had it right away. Good job, dude. So, through the big hole, there's 2 holes. Small hole, it will not fit, so kind of self-explanatory. And does it say what hole to go into? Confirm the lifter scoop can move freely. Slide the leak into the crossbar or mount the lifter to the scoop using this screw. With the scoop mount to the lid attached, 2 chassis screws, the items 1 and 2. It's not saying what hole to attach, but I'm going to attach it to the very top one, I believe. I mean, I kind of look at the picture. I mean, it's a black picture. You can't really tell which one they're attaching it to either. Is it the top one? I mean, it doesn't say, does it? I mean, you guys will probably be looking at the instructions, see the same thing too, because it's right there. That is the top hole.
Looking at?
So this little bar right here,
Yeah.
right there, that's the very top hole. Actually, go up with it.
It's right here.
Yeah, so it's the very top one. So the closest to the mountain angle. So let's grab this guy, move this out of the way. Grab this dude. I'm going to have you position that guy in here. Go ahead and put it in there.
Okay. Switches.
Just line it in there. I'll go through with it. You gotta move it back just a little bit. For anybody else watching that doesn't really know too much about this kit, everything's 3D printed, which we have a 3D printer here. And as we break things, and Xander destroys me with his, I can just reprint stuff. And so we can use his as well. We'll get this bar attached here. He's gonna go grab his again. I believe this should be tight because this is going to move on this arm right here. So it doesn't matter if this bar is stationary, pretty tight. So I'm going to snug it down really good. So we got that in there. Now this is going to mount to the servo. This is moving freely. There's Xander's. I'm going to take the arm for the servo and just pull it up. And I don't think in the instructions it mentions where to mount it on the servo.
What we ended up doing is utilizing the very top hole of the servo. First, we positioned the black little servo. It's not the horn, but I'm not sure, the black mount that goes from the horn to that metal little piece and the yellow lid. We mounted it to the left outside of the arm, but that didn't work. So we had to go with inside on the top hole. Just a heads up, you guys probably see later in the video that when doing this, use Loctite on that screw as well, because yeah, with it moving up and down, it's going to come out. But for this arm, mounted on the top hole on the inside, basically so the arm is to the right, or the black piece is to the right of the servo horn when looking from the front end. And take the screw going into the black piece into the servo arm, and you'll be fine.
And I don't think this mentions anything in the instructions either, so it's, like I said, we're winging it. All right, so yeah, then we can move it over. Cool. All right, so that's that. We're gonna push this down. Actually, so that needs to be loose too, I think, because it's not. So out of curiosity, I'm going to loosen this guy up and we're going to get an idea. You can't just tighten that down because it's not lining up correctly. Does the instructions say loose or tight? Attach a link to server to include the arm, loop, scoop down. There's no instructions like, hey, you know, tighten it down, do not tighten it down. Twist the hubs. Yeah, there is nothing in the instructions. So out of curiosity, if I have it like this, I'm gonna get like an idea of what up would look like on this guy. And maybe that'll line us up fine here. So we gotta get this all centered. What does down look like? Ooh, that's gonna be bad. Piece back there. Balancing port was hanging up really good. Remember that. To the side.
Just a quick little note here. The battery on the GoPro died and I did not notice that. However, we were messing around with this lid and it would have been back and forth till we got something right. So you guys didn't really miss nothing. But anyways, let's continue.
All right, after for some fussing around, we were able to finally get it to close halfway decent. Opens down. It is kind of hitting there. There you go. It's closing to the side a little bit. So maybe, oh, actually, I wonder if I don't got the nut right here. Oops, not that switch. I think after time it should be fine. I mean, it's pretty much down. It'd be nice if it goes just a little more. We might be able to hit an endpoint with that. But anyways, we'll continue on here. We're going to hit the power here. And with more stuff kind of smashed in there, it might form everything, hopefully. But we'll go into the wheels, and that's basically all we have left, really, is just that. For these wheels, it's a super simple, basic setup. To get this on correctly with the Xander's robot, what we found out the best was not to do it on there. So basically, on these wheels, there's a metal plate. Inside the metal plate up here, there's a little set screw. It's a bigger, I think it's a 2 mil. It is a 2 mil. So basically, there's a set screw. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's right there. It's black. What it does on these motor shafts, there's one side of these motor shafts that is flat. That these set screws basically go in, and that metal piece pushes down, and it locks it on. However, I want to get these foam tires on this before I do any of that, so I'm not pushing down on that too hard. To do this, I'm just going to mess around with it a little bit. You wrestle with it a little bit. I think Xander, he's 9, he was having some issues, so young kids, if you have to get a parent, don't feel bad. Because, I mean, they are kind of tight, but once they're kind of flush there, we're sitting good. They do have a tool they bring with to get this on here. But basically what you're going to do is find the notches, and then you're going to twist. But what I found the easiest way is to use another needle nose pliers, which you should have anyways for a couple different things. For the nuts, for like the dead switch. But basically push down and then twist. And they're basically going to lock right in. Actually, they're going to lock in. You'll hear it snap here real quick. If I can get it in there. There it went. So we got that wheel done. Where is the other one? Will be in here. We'll get this guy out. Once again, make sure the set screw's in there, which it is. Push this in. Wrestle around with a little bit. We're going to have a functional robot here real shortly. Might have to mess with the dead points on that lifter arm a little. But I think it's almost ready after wrestling around with it a little bit. If you're wondering which one to get, if you're looking at the Palm Beach site for... we don't have the drum. So get this here quick. We do have the plastic poison spinner and then this lifter for the plastic models. I have found Xander's robot, the plastic spinner poison. I don't know what it's called. It has a lot more room inside. And this one is really tight for room. So definitely this one has taken me a lot longer to assemble. So the set screw is going to be right above that metal piece. Before putting this in, I want to find that set screw. I think I'm on it. Hopefully I'm on it. And we're going to line it up with the flat shaft on the motor. I'm basically going to kind of put it in just like this on that flat shaft. Might have to push a little. Unless that set screw is pushed down a little farther. I'm going to loosen it up just to make sure.
To go into a little more detail here, the flat shaft I'm referring to is on the motor. It's not a full round shaft where the wheels go on. There's kind of like 3/4 of the shaft will be flat and round, another one will be flat. The set screw will come down onto that flat shaft and lock it. So basically it's going to hold the rim on.
And it's really hard to tell if you're all the way down on it or not. I'll see if I can rip this off. I think we're good. I can't pull that wheel off. And we're going to hit the other bolts too, see if that helps out with that guy as well. But we'll line this guy up once more, kind of like we had the other one. I'm going to position the flat end to the lot. Find the hole. Make sure it's loosened. And insert it. And I think we're going to be good there. All right. We got wheels. I think that's everything. So let's just make sure, get power one more time. Actually, what am I doing here real quick? I'm going to put those other bolts in. Just to see if it helps out with that. Oops. The lifter arm going down more. Zander lost one of his nuts. That's why we kind of have everything in there right now for these dudes for his lid. So I went to Menards and got more. I believe, what are they? Are they 636? So the lid mounts are 632 nylon lock nuts. Get this guy in. How much time? We should have hopefully have enough time to get a recorder. I'm not sure if the previous video had enough or not. Grab this guy. Actually, let's get to all these real quick. I definitely like the colors of this though. This blue and yellow are pretty nice. We'll try to get everything centered here. Is it on? There it went. I mean, it's pretty much almost all the way down. So, out of curiosity, this is 100, I believe. That's 0, and it's flat there. Should we put it on the floor and drive it a little bit?
Watch out. I'm trying to flip it. No. Just run. Yeah. At least I can still get, right?
You get over here, watch out. Back up. Back up. Turn left. There you go.
Oh my god. It's so wonky.
Oh,
oh, oh.
Hold on. I'll fall down, yeah.
Just get me there. Get me there. Just push. Push. I'll go.
Watch out. You're in front of the camera. All right. So there you have it. What do you think, Xander?
It's pretty nice. I like the colors. Even though we did mystery from the box, but it's decent.
All right, cool. A couple things about the kit. One thing is the space. That was an issue.
It was not much as space as usual. As my bot, which, like, inside of my bot.
He's going to run and get his bot again. But yeah, and the, how to say it, the spinner, is it the Poison? I can't remember which one it is. Maybe I'll throw a link up here. Had a lot more space. This did not. One thing I don't like is the screws with this kit. You can get 632s socket head. They are Phillips head right now, which, you know, they're going to strip out if you're really wrenching it down. Here's his space in his bot.
So this is my space, and my dad had like this much space of his. So if we get rid of all of this space, then that's how much space you would have.
So basically there's a lot less space in this bot. But one thing is these screws. Get the 6/32 like his screws, and the hex head, it can basically get a little more meat on it. That's one thing. The wheels are open, so I'm kind of curious when we put these into battle, which will be coming up here, how that's going to act or react to spinners like his. Another thing, the servo. It came loose when we were just messing around out here. I had to literally put it back in Loctite. However, we were messing around a little long, so it might go a little longer than normal. But I tightened it down, and it was locking up inside here. It was kind of jamming up. So it loosened up. It was fine. So basically that black, I don't know if I can show you real quick. This black piece right here going into the servo horn, it came unloose. So I had to go get the screw, re-put it in there. I put a little Loctite, hopefully to help it. But I got it tight, and this was locking up a little bit, which I didn't like. It'd been nice if there was a bushing inside the screw, a little longer screw with some type of a bushing so you can lock it down, but yet the arm can move. And maybe I'll get that additional, right? Other than that, it acts like a big ramp, as you can see in the video that we just showed you. He goes over and he's ramping over, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, I think I like it. We'll put it in competition here, battle. Hopefully come up here as, I think 2 or 3 weeks. There is a competition come up. So far we're signed up. There's only 4 of us right now total, so hopefully they'll still let us run all. Just these plastic guys and not pull it since there's not very many people there. But anyways, this is our first video on this channel. Hopefully many more to come. We'll see how things go. Hopefully you guys like this, and stay tuned.